a little dragon. This is made out of earthenware clay, and it's already got glaze on it, and it hasn't been fired yet, but we'll get that far. I usually use earthenware clay, but I know some people don't have a kiln at home, so they want to use poly clay or an air dry clay. This one happens to be Crayola. The projects that I show you in these videos can be done with air dry clay as well. And I mentioned scratching and wetting, and I don't work with air dry clay very often, but here, this just came off. So now I'm going to check and make sure that scratching and wetting is a method that we can use to attach air dry clay as well. Yep, that actually seems very secure. So some of the other things sometimes fall off, you know, when I've used air dry clay in the past, and I just thought, oh, I should check and see if scratching and wetting, scoring and slipping works for air dry clay too, and it looks like it does. So now I'm going to go back to my favorite, my passion, earthenware clay. I'm going to roll out this serpentine-like dragon with a coil, but whenever I'm making a coil, I like to squeeze it a little bit more in my hands first to get the general shape first. It's a lot easier to finish rolling the coil on the board once you've gotten the general shape first. And then I'm going to roll it with my hands, kind of fanning away from each other, starting in the middle and kind of fanning away from each other, and that automatically stretches the clay. But now I'm going to work down at one end, because as you can see on the little sample product here, the tail is tapered very narrow where the head is more broad. So we're going to taper the tail. Now I'm going to start with the head. I'm just going to kind of mishmash and mush it all together, kind of smoothing it out, and then decide what kind of a snout I want. You know, you can decide for yourself, but I usually like to make it kind of narrow along the snout, but then leave it a little broad for the nostrils, and then kind of pinch it forward. Just kind of smooth it with my thumb and index finger in place. And then I like to give him eyebrows, make strong, pronounced eyebrows. And every dragon I make looks different, as they should be, I guess. Okay. Ooh, I'm going to give him strong nostrils too, you know, for breathing all that fire and all. Oh wait, he's a serpentine dragon. I don't know if he would breathe fire. Anyway, I'm going to make some eyeballs and put the eyeballs in. If there are any dragon experts out there, let me know if serpentine dragons like water dragons, actually breathe fire. I'm curious. Okay, the eyeballs in. I just scored and slipped the eye sockets a little bit. Looks kind of like a derpy snake right now, so we got some work to do, don't we? All right, I'm going to texture him. This is just a little bit of piping that I have that I like to use for texture. It just automatically gives the look of scales. And texture is fun when you're coloring, because colors get deeper where the texture is deeper. So that's kind of fun. And I would just go all the way down the body. And now I have a lot of students who would just be like, oh, wait a second, you're doing that quite randomly. Some people would want their scales completely lined up, ever so symmetrically, ever so perfectly. It's up to you. And you get to do it however you like. It's your dragon. I kind of like to save time. So I'm going a little faster. So down at the bottom, I'm going to take a needle tool, and if you are doing this at home and don't have a needle tool, you can use a paper clip, an opened up paper clip. Slice the tail a little bit, kind of give them a little, like a mermaid's tail. Yeah, that's fun, right? probably some ears. Maybe some ears and some horns, maybe just horns. Again, you get to decide. So, I'm going to just accent the inside of the ear a little bit. Okay, should the ears be pointing out? Like so. That's kind of cute. Or they could be more like lamb's ears. Oh man. Oh dear. What does he look like? He looks more like a giraffe. So I'm going to turn him back the other way. Make the point out. And score and slip these. And then little horns. Just roll that in your fingertips and curve it. Try to get the same amount of clay for the next one. And if it's not, pinch off whatever's extra. Oh, that's kind of cute. Okay, I'm going to go with that. Scoring and slipping every bit. Every piece that goes on so they stay in place. Otherwise I have loose parts in the kiln and that's no fun. Okay, so now I'm going to do the little zigzag in the body. So I'm going to shape the head forward. And to keep him from tipping over, you can see I'm kind of applying a little bit of pressure towards my tabletop here. That broadens the base a little bit. He's looking cute. There we go. We can just kind of bring the tail up in a little whimsical stance or a whimsical wave. Add a little texture here with the needle tool. Like he's got fins or little spines in it. Now, he wouldn't have wings, I imagine, but he can have some exaggerated flippers, kind of like they are wings. So I'm just grabbing a pinch of clay, shape it into whatever you think wing-like flippers should be. You can roll it around to bring in all the bumps and then go back and forth to create that little cone shape and then flatten it. There we go. We have two that are very similar, and they can be textured as well. There's so much room for imagination. Every dragon should look different. You get to do it the way you want. Yeah, I like that. Scratch off that on. I made it too heavy. It wants to flop forward. Just readjust it a little bit. He's got a little bit of a crooked nose, but that works. Thanks for watching.